Hello, Mr. Neighbour. Sunlight, laughter, routine. Every morning at 8 o'clock sharp. Little Mia Clark climbed onto the wooden stool by the back fence, her small fingers curling around the rough slats of the brushwood. "Good morning, Mr. Neighbour," she'd call, her voice bright and cheerful. And from the other side, a gentle voice would always answer, "Good morning, Mia. How's my favorite little ray of sunshine today?" Her mother, Grace, would smile from the kitchen window as she buttered toast. Her husband, Tom, would chuckle, sipping his coffee. The ritual had become part of the family's rhythm, the laughter of a child, the friendly chatter through the fence, the golden wash of morning light spilling into their home. Their neighbor, Mr. Halpin, had always been kind. Retired schoolteacher, loved gardening, even helped them fix the gate once, years ago. So when Mia giggled and waved at him every morning, Grace and Tom never thought much of it. Just a happy child talking to a kind old man. That Saturday, Dan, an old friend from university, came to stay for the weekend. A police detective, worn and weary, needing a break from city life. Peace and quiet, Tom had promised. No chaos, no crime scenes, just countryside air and decent coffee. The first evening passed with laughter, good food, and stories that stretched long into the night. But peace, as Dan would soon learn, was an illusion. The next morning, sunlight spilled across the kitchen floor. Grace was at the sink, Tom at the table, and Mia was already outside on her stool, her sing-song voice cutting through the hum of the kettle. "Morning, Mr. Neighbour." Don smiled faintly as he leaned in the doorway, mug in hand. He followed her gaze toward the fence and froze. There was no one there, no kindly neighbor, no familiar figure, only shadows, tall, distorted shapes flickering in the pale morning light. The hair on his arms rose. "Who's she talking to?" he asked slowly. Tom looked up from his paper. "Mr. Halpin, the neighbor." Don frowned. "Halpern, as in George Halpern." Grace turned, surprised. "Yes, you know him." Dan's voice dropped. "I worked the case 10 years ago. He died. Car accident. Buried out by St. Mary's." The mug slipped from Grace's hands, shattering across the tiles. Tom forced a laugh. "That's ridiculous. We see him every day. He's—" Dan shook his head, voice trembling. "There's no one there, Tom. Look again." They all turned toward the window. The morning light seemed thinner now, filtered through something unseen. The brush fence swayed slightly in the breeze. Mia was giggling, pointing. "You're funny, Mr. Neighbor. Daddy says hi." Tom's heart hammered. "Mia, come inside now." She frowned. "But Mr. Neighbor wants to show me something." Grace screamed. "Get away from the fence." The air grew colder, unnaturally so. The smell of damp earth and rust filled the kitchen. Dan moved toward the back door. "Don't go out there," he warned. Just get her." But Tom was already running, Grace close behind. They reached Mia, scooping her up, their faces pale with terror. "Mum, Dad, you're hurting me," she cried, struggling. Behind the fence, something moved, slow, deliberate. A tall figure, its outline shimmering like smoke. And then another, and another. Dan's breath hitched. The shapes pressed closer, whispering voices layered and distant, like echoes trapped in water. "Grace, Tom, get inside," he shouted. They turned toward him, but as they stepped into the shadow of the house, Dan's stomach dropped. Their faces weren't their faces anymore. Grace's eyes were too dark, her smile too wide. Tom's skin looked drained of color, stretched too tightly over his cheekbones. Even Mia had gone silent, her expression vacant, head tilted at an unnatural angle. For a heartbeat, everything was still. Then Grace spoke softly, sweetly. "You can see them too, can't you, Dan?" The air around him pulsed with a low, electric hum. Dan stumbled back, shaking his head. What's happening to you?" Tom's lips curved into a cold, unnatural grin. "You shouldn't have come here." Behind them, the fence creaked. Snap, 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 as if something heavy was pushing through. Dan turned, reaching for the door handle, but his hand went right through it. His breath caught. He looked down. His fingers shimmered faintly, the skin turning translucent. Grace's voice floated behind him, a soft whisper. "Welcome to the neighborhood. Sunlight, laughter, silence."